Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the PivotBoss pre-market video for Monday, January 11th, 2021. I am Frank Ochoa, aka PivotBoss. Here's a look at the daily time frame of the ES. Right here, the ES remains within a very bullish uptrend. You can see over the last week, the first week of trading, an early Monday morning pullback followed by 4 days of strength. This also flows within the uptrend that we've seen over the last several weeks. And again, that all kind of began back with this rejection early November, and we've continued higher ever since. So this market remains very, very bullish overall. One level we continue to watch is this key range high right here. So that key range high, bring it over, that's 35.87. That's kind of the major medium-term breakdown point that if it fails to hold that zone, we start to rotate down. Right now, what we're doing is actually separating ourselves from the actual breakout point here to the recent high. That's a fairly good distance here. So even if price were to drop that deep, bulls likely pick it up and defend it for a continuation higher. So overall, this market remains very bullish. Even if we were to pull back into the pivot range here or to this low at 36.50, again, these are all spots where bulls will be looking to defend. So right now, climbing this wall here overall, and bulls continue to defend all pullbacks until proven otherwise. So that's the overall framework, and right now you see we're pulling back just a little bit here to begin the week, very similar to what we saw last week. Again, if we find an early low here this morning, perhaps a failed low below the previous session's low, there could be an opportunity to buy ahead of an afternoon push higher. To begin the week, again, any pullback into 37.60 or the previous week's high close here, or rather previous month's high close, there could be a buying opportunity. So right now, all these pullbacks here, until this thing really just kind of really fails, they still provide an opportunity to buy for a continuation higher. So continue to watch for early signs of a low this morning. All right, let's take a look here at the NQ. The NQ has very similar price action overall. Very bullish. You can see here again from the November turnaround here, it's been straight up. Last week, very positive start here. A new low on Wednesday that took out the Monday low, and then a significant push higher off those lows. Right now, we're still remain within a very nice uptrending market. And any pullback again continues to be an opportunity for bulls to defend and push this thing higher. 13.4 is still the next upside target here on a swing basis to reach. That's something we talked about to begin the new year here, that if we pull back here, this could provide an opportunity to buy and push toward that 13.370, which is the 50% extension from this key range here. So overall, everything continues to push higher. Right now, obviously, we're seeing some weakness. We could continue to see weakness this morning until we find a strong low. Should a strong low develop, even as low as 12.9, right? That could provide a bounce opportunity the rest of the session, or perhaps heading into the rest of the week. We really need to break down here through 465 in order for significant weakness to be seen. That's the key range high. That's the current support zone. If it breaks 12,465, it opens up the downside. But even a push into that level could still be defended until proven otherwise. All right, let's take a look now at crude oil. Right now, crude oil is down 1%. A pretty significant day on Friday here, and turned around sharply here today. Kind of a blow off top type of feel to it. Very similar to any kind of big push you get followed by a pullback the next day. Some kind of push higher and then you pull back, strong push, pull back. So right now we have just seen a big push into that CVPOC. Missed it by just a few ticks there. Again, this market remains strong. Look at the strong trend that we've seen here since the beginning of November. We've pushed away from the prior pivot high and the previous month's high, so any pullback into that zone, so any pullback into 49.50, that zone could still be a buying opportunity for continuation higher as this thing continues to trend up. We may see a little pullback here still, but again, once we find a strong low, perhaps in the LVN below 41.40, on an intraday basis at least, that could provide a little bit of a bounce opportunity. So right now we will see how much more weakness we get, but overall this market remains an uptrending market until proven otherwise. Lastly, taking a look at gold futures. Right now, this one is about flat on the day. You can see here it has sold off tremendously since the 1960 level. We warned about that level on Monday. On this big push up, we mentioned ever since this low, we've gotten most of the way there. We may have another day or two of upside, but once we hit 1960 to 1980, watch for signs of rejection, just like we've seen any of these other times here. And this one really gave us a huge rejection. Bearish outside day. We got an narrow inside day, the session that followed, and then a massive continuation on Friday. Right now we're seeing 1817.10 as a low, and we have now hit prices below the 200-day moving average. Last time we hit 1960, we sold off. I mentioned that the fact that we weren't able to hold here suggests we may need to go below the 200-day average and trap, and that could provide a bounce. Perhaps this time we may see similar price action. So right now we are below the 200-day average. We may see another few days below it, but then if a trap occurs here, 1840 could be a jumping off point for perhaps another push higher. As a matter of fact, if we do get a higher low here, that could be bullish moving forward, as we will begin to form an ascending wedge that could ultimately break to the upside. But right now, still seeing weakness here until we find a strong low. Alright, that is it for now. We'll see how this develops heading into the new week of trading. Good luck, trade well, and I'll see you in the trading room. Take care.